Well, good morning. This is PA Camping Dad, Doug, to give you a video on trail baking. Oh, got you in behind the leaf. Just a quick view of my setup here. It's been rainy for the past 2 days, and the front finally cleared out, and we got a lot of wind coming in. So I set up my tarp, my winter tarp, as a windbreak. Let me step behind the camera and really show what we got here. So this is going to be my baking location. I will go through, I'll set up the tripod here, and I just have my tarp set up as a windbreak from the north where all the wind is coming from. So let's get to unpacking the stove. The stove I'm using is an Element. I have it here in a pouch made by 2Q ZQ. It's a nice little pouch, keeps all the soot off everything. In here I always pack this little protector if I'm on a picnic table. Guess I won't need that today. Stove itself, and I tossed in a few of my starting discs, which I'll use, a piece of one of them. Also have the grill. I've yet to use this, but this is Dutchware grill that fits nicely on the top of the Element. And of course you recognize the tarp fly pattern for all you hammockers. So not really a description of the Element, but it's a folding. This is a titanium model. Let's see, I've gotten a fair amount of use on it. Bottom pan is warped a little, but it's no problem to get it assembled. I always have more trouble when it's on camera, huh? Alright, here's the Element set up. I will leave it like that. Normally these starter discs, I've found that I really only need a quarter of one. So I just rip off a quarter of one. Stick the rest back in my pouch. The way that I've been starting the Element is I try to take a few pieces of larger wood. That's not larger, but a few pieces about, you know, a little bit fatter than pencil size, and I put them on the bottom, kind of like an upside down fire inside the Element, so that any coals that fall from the small stuff starting will start the next larger size going. And I also figure it gives, you know, it's got the little alcohol cotton ball, or not alcohol, wax cotton pad, a place to catch on. Hopefully you saw I broke up a whole bunch of handfuls of small stuff to have them prepared. Especially when I'm baking, I want to have everything available so that I can quickly get to it. I got my little base that I'm going to drop my cotton ball in. I'll give it a shot at doing it with a fire starter striker. Done it a few times with it. There we go. Actually, I was going to mix up my batter first, but I've got enough wood that I can keep things going for a while. So let's get this going. A little chilly out here this morning. It was 45 degrees, I think, with a good stiff breeze. So to mix up this is a half of one of the muffin mixes that you just add water to from Walmart. I think they were $1, and I just put it on my scale and weighed out half and put it in a baggie. And I normally don't measure how much water. I just pour some water in. Obviously it goes slow because you can't take any out. Put a little water in and massage it in. I think the first time I did it I was a little runny on my mix, and the last two have been a little thick. I think I prefer it to be a little thick, but I think that's a little on the thick side. As you see, the element takes right off with one of those little quarter cotton swabs. Makeup remover swab, I think they were. So we're going fine in there. You do want to keep an eye on it because once it gets going, it will burn out pretty quick. Yeah, basically you want like a thick pancake batter. If you make it at home a few times, then I guess you know the consistency. I think that looks pretty good to me. Soft, I got all the lumps out. Normally I just cut a corner off when it's time to fill it, instead of going past the fold in the sandwich bag. Okay, so my little trick that I've been doing that's been working for me is I do a combination of steam baking and dry baking. So what I do is I just put a little bit of water in the bottom of my pot, probably about between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. Just a tiny bit in there. And what that'll do, my theory, I've never seen anybody do this before, but is the water will boil quickly and quickly bring the oven, the baking container, up to temperature. So then I just set my ring down inside. Hopefully maybe that'll work. You see I set my baking ring in the center of the pot. hopefully find a level surface to put it down. And then I normally just put my cup right on it, making sure that it's centered on my ring underneath. It supports it all the way around. And get it centered. There's not a whole lot of room on the edge. Just barely clears, but it's enough. Take my knife, or normally actually I would use my scissors, but I forgot to bring my Leatherman out here. So yeah, just hopefully without getting stuff on my knife. Cut the corner off the bag and I squeeze it right into my pot, right into my baking cup in place. Guess you can hear the winds picking up. Just work all the mix out of the baggie, out of the corner. Don't worry if I don't get every little last bit, because as hopefully you'll see, it barely fits in my 10 centimeter Musa mug. I need to flip my lid over. Again, I think I made it a little thick, but I tend to err on the side of caution. So, once that's in my cup, I just carefully place that up. The lid on, I'll just put it on this way right now, but I will have to flip it because maybe get some wood in there. It'll burn out pretty soon. Which is why I like to have the handful of wood all ready to go. Kind of use half and half, loading from the top here, from the little entry hole, or from the side. Foot door. Figure it is so windy today, I don't need the extra air going in. But I'll continue to feed this. I'm not going to, actually then I normally set my timer. Got a couple pieces in the side door. But I obviously don't worry too much about starting the timer right on the when I first put this pot on the stove. I normally give it, I think the instructions say 20 minutes, so I normally give it 30. So I will be back in a few. One other thing I need to do is find a little rock or a stick to hold the lid on when I flip it upside down. So I will go do that, and we'll be back in a little bit. Well, it's been a few minutes. Probably should have left it cook a little longer, but I wanted to show you. So I normally take the it off the stove for a little bit and then put it in my cozy just so that it is easier to handle, so I don't burn myself. Normally just let it sit for a little bit and you can reach in and pull the muffin out. You see that everything's evaporated and little marks from where the evaporation happened. This ring, I just made it with a piece of the roasting pan, a strip of it, and I folded it, I think it's 3 times. This is about maybe 5/8 of an inch. I'd probably go a little smaller. My first one was probably only 3/8 of an inch, and I think that was a little too low, so I made the next one taller. That's when I started having it hit the top of the lid so quickly. A little condensation there, let that evaporate. Then normally just pull it off, work around and pull it out of the side of the muffin. I'll put some still pictures of one of the ones that I baked on the trail. This one's not quite as perfect, it's all done, but the outside isn't browned. Probably should have let it go for another 5 minutes maybe. Anyway, that's how I do my trail baking. I'll see you later, and have fun out there.